Everybody, welcome back to another edition of NFL Turf Talk here on the DSM Media Twitter channel, as well as the DSM Turf Talk YouTube channel. Guys, first and foremost, make sure to check us out, as always, on Twitter at DSM_media is where you can find us. And then check out the link tree in our bio. It'll take you to every social platform that we're on. But more specifically, like you can see on the screen below Scotty, make sure to check out the YouTube link. Hit that subscribe button. Share it with your friends, family, any other NFL fans that you may know that might enjoy the content. It is the best and only spot to get your thoughts, comments, and questions pulled up here and be interactive with us. Week 3 is upon us. We're going to take a full look at the slate, some of the most important games we'll get into. We got early season quarterback injuries, what that could mean for the landscape of both the NFC and the AFC. Scotty, we're going to get into our best bets as the show goes on, and talk about the Thursday night game in which the Bills escape Buffalo with a win against Tua and the Dolphins. Lots of good stuff to get into today, man. How you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good, man. I cannot complain. It's a busy Sunday. We're getting it started early here with you guys. Obviously, we got the 1 p.m. start time for the Birds, so we're going to have the Eagles pregame shortly after this. I got my Arsenal cap on. They're taking on Man City at 11:30, so the juices are flowing, man. I need to grab my first beer after this, I'm thinking. But happy Sunday, man. Back for week 3. 3 weeks already, man. Flew by. Like we always have been saying the last couple of weeks, this is the best time of year. And the matchups are a little bit better this week. I will say that as well. Last week we had a few clunkers, man, and it turned out to be that way once you had to watch the shit too. So this week I'm a little bit more excited, especially with the Eagles game. Obviously our attention is going to be on the Eagles-Rams at 1 p.m. So those matchups, those probably aren't the best of the day. I think the 4 p.m. slate is magnificent, quite honestly. So
which is rare.
I'm loving. Yeah, it's very rare, very rare. I'm loving the 4 o'clock games today, and then Sunday night football.
Could be interesting.
It could be. Yeah, we'll talk about it. It could be. You sparked me there with your interest in it, so I'm interested to hear what you got to say about that. And then Monday night football obviously is a great ass matchup. Yes. So happy Sunday, Terry. Thanks for tuning in.
Yes,
appreciate you.
Good morning. But, before we get into those matchups, though, man, and I have one specifically that I'm really looking at on the slate outside the Eagles-Rams, like you mentioned. But Dolphins-Bills on Thursday night football. Buffalo comes away with a 31-21 victory in this one. Josh Allen doing more of Josh Allen things, escaping the pocket, just a little flick of the wrist, floating the ball out there to like the 4th string tight end for a tutty.
It's good shit. Yeah.
Tua stakes, bro. Like, I don't really have too much to say about this one. You can't really call an ugly win for Buffalo. They put up 31 points, you know what I mean? Josh Allen was magnificent. But it was close all the way through, and that was a Dolphins team that was struggling throughout the first 2 weeks of the season. But Buffalo, you're happy, you're 3-0, and the schedule just continues to get easier, and that's kind of why I had them as the number 1 seed heading into the playoffs this year in the kickoff show, because no one has the schedule that they have. So Josh Allen is going to put together another MVP case. But the Dolphins, bro, 0-3. If I had a fork right here, you could stick it in the logo. They're done. They're cooked. And Tua is awful, dude. Like, it is what went from, like, such a fun offense to watch, no matter what the defense used to look like. That offense was always high-flying, right? And you get the first drive of the game, they march down, they go get a tutty. You're like, all right, here we go. We might have a competitive game. Yeah. You had a competitive game, but, I mean, this is going to sound funny coming from an Eagles fan and a Jalen Hurts stan. Tua in the 4th quarter is at like 97 yards. The problem is that doesn't work if you're not playing winning football. So, and then he throws the pick. He misses Tyreek Hill 17 times in the second half. Like, Jalen Waddle can't get involved outside of 2 catches. You can't hit Tyreek Hill down the middle of the field. Like, it doesn't make any sense what's going on with that offense. And Mike McDaniels, man, he's on the hot seat, and they have a quarterback problem in Miami. It's quite that simple.
Yeah, no, I think that's very well said, and I think something that I took away watching this game play out on national television was, stop it. It sounds like you watch too much national media, Warrens. I'll just throw that.
Not enough turf talk.
Not enough turf talk. Too much national. National, yeah, first take and all that, the get up and shit. But no, I completely agree with everything you said there. I think what became apparent to me when watching this is that, with Mike McDaniel, maybe he is catching a little too much heat. I'm not saying that he's not to blame here. Like, obviously his system, It looks a little wore out. There's not a lot of adjustments to it from what we've seen even like 3 years ago with it. But at the same time, when you look at Tua and the way he plays, man, you just have to wonder, a better quarterback in that system, what does it look like with Jalen Waddle, with Tyreek Hill, with Achane? And you just see a bunch of balls like get thrown into the ground. He's not very mobile. He's not great with his legs. He can't get out of the pocket. And when he does, the balls are horrible when he's throwing them outside the pocket.
Yeah, he can't throw on the run.
It's disgusting. So I look around and I'm like, man, so it's Tua, who has concussion concerns. You can't really use him to a full extent. As much as they try to say it, you have to be cautious with him. Like, it's his life on the line. And the other thing is, when it's not Tua, they do not have a proper backup quarterback. And so that's the other side that we've seen with the Dolphins in the dark times is when Tua goes out with the concussion, we have to see Skyler, whoever the fuck, come in at QB2.
I believe now it was Skyler Thompson. Right? I believe now it's Zach Wilson.
Oh, it's Zach Wilson?
I'm pretty sure.
I thought it was Ewers down there, the rookie quarterback. He must be third string.
Him as well. I'm not sure, but yeah,
he's probably third string then. As well. He's on one of those Florida teams down there. But nonetheless, man, I just don't like where the Dolphins are going. On the other side, man, the Bills. I think what you said, like, Josh Allen just doing Josh Allen things. Very Brett Favre, like with the little flip forward, like you talked about for the tutty. They didn't, dominate the Dolphins in this game, but you don't have to dominate every single game, man.
Correct.
It's a divisional opponent. Just win the football game. You're at home. They won by double digits.
Short week.
I'd say it's a job well done, quite honestly, even though it didn't look the greatest in the moment.
Yeah, no, and like I mentioned earlier with the schedule, I'm trying to pull it up right here for you. I mean, you're looking at a Bills team that should be 6-0 heading into their Week 7 bye. I mean, they have New Orleans at home, New England at home, obviously divisional game. That's on Sunday night, and then they're at Atlanta. I mean, you're looking at 6-0 heading into the bye. They come out of the bye. They travel to Carolina to take on Bryce Young. You're looking at 7-0. When Patrick Mahomes and Kansas City come to town on November 2nd. So that's kind of the pinnacle of their season, the peak of their season, that matchup. I believe Rashee Rice will be back. So it'll be a much better contest then. But yeah, this Bill schedule is so easy, dude. It's insane. So easy.
It's insane. How did they get blessed with that? I guess it's just the way the AFC East worked out. Like, because they're the number one. They get the number one seed schedule, like the number one in the division schedule.
Yeah, I mean, look, they get the Chiefs, they get the Bucks. Those are both at home. At Houston was supposed to be a tough game with what we're seeing so far from Stroud and company. Right. And at Steelers, tough game. I'm sure it will be a tough game, but the way that defense is playing in the moment, you look at that, you go, Bengals at home, no Joe Burrow, and then the Eagles, but they get the Eagles at home in Week 17. So there's 4 or 5 games on the schedule that are supposed to be difficult. We'll see how difficult they end up being for them. But Buffalo's in a fantastic spot, man. But let's get to this slate. Obviously, we're a little close, strict on time today, so we'll try to run through these as quickly as possible. I want to start on Monday Night Football. I don't know about you, but this is the game outside of the Eagles-Rams for our own interest as well. It's just a great matchup. The Lions-Ravens in Baltimore is the game of the week for me. Big for both teams. Who would you say has more on the line in this one?
I'm going to go Baltimore because they're at home. I think they're in the AFC. It's just it's going to be more important for them ultimately, whereas the Lions, they're going to have some NFC opponents mixed in here that they're going to be able to run through. It's a big game for both of them because, to your point, they're both in very similar spots. They've lost to basically 2 good to great teams this season.
That's exactly where I was going to go.
Right. They've beaten, 2 bad teams this season. So it's hard to say what these teams really are just yet. Obviously, the Ravens looked great against the Bills despite, like, that meltdown. Their defense is going to be better than that. Right. But it's still a bad loss at the end of the day. So I'll go with the Ravens. I think they need it more being at home, this being one of their home games, and just simply being in the AFC. What about you?
No, I agree. And where you went is exactly what I was thinking. Look at this one. You have 2 1-1 teams, 2 teams that are hoping to represent their conferences in the Super Bowl this year. Week 1 losses, lost to great teams, very good teams.
Yeah.
Week 2 bounce back, bad teams. Whoever comes away with a loss in this one, in terms of just putting together an early season resume, right? Looking at what you've done so far in the year, it'll be unimpressive. It'll be uninspiring if you're in that fan base, if you're looking where to put these teams in terms of rankings and how serious to take them. Because if you're the Ravens, right, you lose this game at home, you've lost to Buffalo and Detroit. Congratulations, you beat the shit out of Joe Flacco. Detroit, on the other hand, you got the shit kicked out of you in Green Bay. You beat the shit out of Caleb Williams. And now if you lose on Monday night, congratulations, right? Obviously, how you lose this game will be very telling, because like if you're the Ravens, right, and they lose this game, but they lose by 2, and it's down to the wire, both their losses to great teams are by a point or 2.
Yeah.
If you're Detroit and you come in and get thumped, how seriously can we take you?
Yeah.
Because the 2 great teams you played so far have absolutely dominated you, if that was to be the case. I do think the Ravens come away with a home victory. Very odd line. Like, I don't know how to feel about the 4.5. I don't know how to feel about laying it. Very easily they could cover. It's less than a touchdown. It's 2 field goals, and you cover. But this could be a 27-24 type of game or somewhere in that ballpark.
Yeah, I do see it ultimately turning into a little bit of a shootout, similar to what we saw with the Buffalo Bills and the Ravens. Like, the way I look at it, like if the Bills can score 40 plus points or whatever on the Ravens, like the Lions should be able to put up some points. But at the same time, I think the Ravens are just a well-oiled machine offensively. They've put up close to 40 points in each of their games so far. So they're going to score points. I do agree with you. The line is a little weird at 5 points. I would love it if it was 2.5, but the books know that I would love it if it was 2.5. So that's why they throw the 4.5 out there. So
they know you so well.
It's a little weird. But I'll say this as well, man. Looking at their schedules moving forward, the Ravens 100% need it so much more. After this, the Lions play the Browns and the Bengals, and I believe that order. For the Ravens, they got the Chiefs next, who obviously are 0-2. They get a game against the Giants, hopefully get their first win this week, but they're going to be trying to get back to 500. Then they got the Texans, who are 0-2 right now, which we discussed. Like, the Texans aren't this world beater, but they're still a tough-ass team that you're going to have to play. And then after that, they play the Rams. So it's not going to get too much easier or whatever you want to call it. So, yeah, the Ravens need to win this game at home, I would say, because it's not going to get easier for them. No, it should be a good game. I do agree. It is the game of the week, though. I do agree with that.
Where do your eyes go to next on this slate? Because you are right. There's a lot more difficult matchups to pick apart than there were in week 2.
It's the, I mentioned the 4 p.m. slate. There are, almost 3 games that I'm interested in that slate, but definitely 2. The first one I'll mention, the Denver Broncos. I was about to say the Nuggets. The Denver Broncos at the LA Chargers today. The Chargers are 2-0. Denver 1-1 with a disappointing loss to Indianapolis last week. Chargers 2.5 point favorites at home. They've looked very good to start the season. This is a big game. This is a big divisional matchup. I don't want to say I completely throw out what these teams have done the first 2 weeks in this matchup, but like it kind of feels like I should, if that makes sense. Like, divisional matchup, Broncos, this would be a good move for them to kind of catch up in the division and get this W early. Give the Chargers their first loss. The Chargers aren't going to go undefeated, but they are at home. So it is an interesting game overall. Yeah, that's a great point. It is their home opener in LA because they were in Brazil? Yeah. The first week 1 against the Chiefs. So looking at Bo Nix in this game, man. Obviously, Justin Herbert has answered some calls early on this season. But I feel like Bo Nix kind of, escapes under the radar with criticism compared to some of the other young quarterbacks in the NFL. Now, mind you, he had 3 touchdowns and an interception last week against Indianapolis, so it's not like he was horrible. But you do need to go out here and win games. This is going to be a big matchup against Justin Herbert.
Right, turn the ball over in week 1 against Tennessee, I believe, as well. Got to start taking care of the football if you want to win games, right? I'm looking at the Chargers defense in this one because as good as Justin Herbert has been so far this season, their defense has been phenomenal.
Yeah, that's a great point.
Vegas didn't cross the goal line last week. And week 1 against the Chiefs, they were very, very good. Now, Khalil Mack is hurt. I believe he's out. Might be out for a little while. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think he went on IR.
Yeah. But just seeing what that defense looks like at home, how seriously can we take you if you're the Chargers? Yeah. But this is a bigger game for the Broncos. You're absolutely correct. I might want to backtrack that.
Like if the Chargers win this game, they're running this division.
Correct.
You know,
it's a bigger game for the Broncos in terms of don't want to lose it.
Yeah,
it's just as big for the Broncos in the other direction, in the positive direction, because if the Chargers go out and win this game, start 3-0, beat the Chiefs, the Raiders, the Broncos to start the year. Herbert looks phenomenal again today.
Yeah.
We're talking about a different looking Chargers team at this point. So it's something you can talk about as one of the leaders in the AFC. So it's equally important, but for two totally directions. The Broncos, you do not want to lose this game 1-2, a divisional loss, and that team goes 3-0. But if you're the Chargers, it's a huge statement game early on in September.
Solidify yourself as running this division. I have a weird feeling, man. I'm going with the Broncos in this one on the road. It's more or less just to kind of even things out. That's how it works in my mind. Like I don't know. Like I don't know. It's one of those things.
Defense
I do like.
Has to be better, bro. I get what Daniel Jones and Shane Steichen are doing early on in the year in Indianapolis, and we'll see if they continue that today as well. But I never in a million years thought that the Broncos defense would get run through the way it did last
40 points against the Colts.
And then make the mistake. They should have won the game. Won the game. You cannot touch the center. He missed the field goal. Game was over. Everyone's celebrating. What do you know? Out comes the flag and free kick 15 yards shorter, and you lose the game. So mistakes, turning the football over early in the year, bad defense. The Broncos are not playing sound ball right now. The Chargers are. I'll take the Chargers in this one. And I think they get to 3-0, bro.
That's fair. No, I will say the one thing I do like in this game, weirdly, once again, is the over 45.5.
Okay.
I think it's just going to be a very competitive game, but I do think these offenses are going to put up some points. And J.K. Dobbins going against his old team, who he had success with last year, so that'll be interesting. But
speaking of overs, get me to one of my favorite bets of the day. If I can have some success in the 1 p.m. slate, I'll get to the 425 game. Cowboys Bears totals like 49.5, 50.5. Give me the over in this one if I've ever seen one, right? Maybe I'm just being too reactionary to what the Bears defense looked like last week, what the Cowboys defense looked like last week, how good the Cowboys offense has been, especially last week. So maybe I'm being too reactionary here, but give me the over in this one. Dallas minus 1.5. I know how bad their defense looked last week. I know they escaped with a win against the Giants team that's also 0-2, but this Bears team has shown little to no life offensively. The Lions absolutely punished them offensively or on defense last week.
Yeah.
I see no way this Bears defense slows down Dak and the Cowboys today, as long as Dak takes care of the ball. Give me the Cowboys in this one fairly easily.
It's interesting, man. I do feel you. Like, in reality, yes, I think the Cowboys should win this game. It being in Chicago is a little weird to me. What I'm trying to say, it feels like a typical letdown spot for the Cowboys. It feels like a trap. Like, I feel you. I will pick the Cowboys. I have them circled on my page here, and I do think in reality they'll win, but I would not put my money on it. I would not put my money on their money line or spread because
it's not trustworthy.
It just feels like, the Bears are 0-2. They're at home. Maybe they come out, a little bit more focused, a little bit, more hungry today and take it to the Cowboys. And like we saw with the Giants, man, like the Cowboys should have ran them out of Jerry World last weekend with the amount of points they scored. And simply being at home, they should have ran the Giants out of the fucking gym last week. And it goes to overtime. They barely win by a field goal. Like, it just doesn't feel right. But I'll say this. Cowboys lose or they win by double digits. It's going to be one of those two things. So
I agree.
That's what I'll go with.
I agree.
Yeah,
I think they win by double digits. If the Chiefs-Eagles game in week 2 taught me anything early on in the season, it's that the narratives that, like, what you just laid out there, and it's kind of where my mind goes as well. It's what we talked about previewing that game last week. Like, the only way you look at it is, like, because the Eagles are a better team on paper. The only way you look at it is 0-1, 1-0, home opener, don't want to start 0-2, backs against the wall, Super Bowl revenge.
Yeah.
And it didn't work out. If that taught me anything, it's that maybe these narratives aren't playing much of a role early on in the year. Not that the Cowboys are this well put together machine. Okay. That defense is bad. And maybe Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams can have a day at home and make this a very competitive game and maybe come away with a win. I just look at it as that Cowboys offense is 10 times the unit that any unit the Bears can throw out on the field today. So I'll take the Cowboys. I think the Bears start 0-3 in this one. And again, I do like the over. I mean, there's a world where the Cowboys score in the high 30s themselves this afternoon. So
I feel that.
One more game, and then we'll hit the 2-minute drill and kind of run through these, man. I mentioned my intrigue earlier on. Chiefs Giants tonight. It's 2-0-2 teams. Someone starting the season 0-3, unless we get the worst Sunday night game of all time and it ends in a tie. But what we saw out of that Giants offense last week, can they replicate that at home? It's their home opener as well. They played in Washington and then in Dallas last week, 2 divisional matchups. They come home. They're going to be juiced up. Patrick Mahomes is coming to town. 6.5 points the Chiefs' way. Is that too much for a team and an offense specifically that does not seem to be running well so far to start the year?
No, it's not too much because it is the Chiefs and they do, like, if this was any other team, yes, it would be too much, but it is the Chiefs. It is going to be a desperate Kansas City team, a desperate Patrick Mahomes. And at the end of the day, you kind of have to put your faith in that to an extent. Like, this is not the Philadelphia Eagles. It's not this well-oiled machine that just won the Super Bowl. It's the New York Giants who just gave up 40-plus points to the Cowboys. So I do think at the end of the day, KC should take care of business in this one. But it is interesting because how bad or how close to a bad team are the Kansas City Chiefs in reality with some of the pieces that are missing early on in this season? No Rashee Rice. They've had Xavier Worthy in and out. It's interesting. It's in New York. It's in New Jersey, at MetLife Stadium. And I think it does make it a little more interesting. I just think their defense is going to be able to hone in, control the Giants' offense a little bit better than what Dallas did last week. We just saw what they did to the Eagles. Now, Eagles aren't fully operating. Like, I'll be clear in that. The passing game specifically is not operating the way it needs to be. So you look at what the Giants did last week, maybe they can have a little bit more success against Kansas City with the way they're functioning right now. But I don't know, man. I kind of like Kansas City in the spread in this one. I get that it might not feel right with the way they're playing, but this feels like backs against the wall. If you can't take care of business against the Giants, we need to have a way bigger discussion about Kansas City this season. That's what it feels like to me.
This would be the perfect time for us to have, like, a soundboard here for me. Because if I could give a siren sound right now, give me the upset, baby. Give me the Giants tonight. Listen.
Is it going to be a shootout?
I don't know how they move the ball consistently. You will see drives tonight. You will see drives where Mahomes and that offense move methodically down the field. Kelsey's getting involved over the middle of the field. Pacheco breaks off a 12-yard run. They punch it in, right? A long, nice drive. I don't think they can do it consistently. This game is going to depend on if Kansas City's defense can get at the Russell Wilson. Is Spagnuolo going to sell out like he sold out against Jalen Hurts and the Eagles offense last week, which is 0 blitz after 0 blitz? I don't think he does. And if you get any sort of version of Russell Wilson from week 2, the Giants will be in the game at the end of this game. I'm kind of having some fun by saying give me the Giants, but I really, man, I don't like this Chiefs offense at all. I have no problem with their defense. They held the Eagles in check last week.
Yeah.
I don't know how they consistently move the football. The only way the Chiefs win this game is if it is severely low scoring. They win this game if they win like 17-13 or 20-14 or something like. If they hold Russ in check, if they can turn the Giants over, if you get the Giants offense from week 1 in Washington,
that's what I'm
be in this game and they'll win. But if you can get any sort of success offensively, if you're New York, I don't know how Kansas City moves the football up and down the field enough tonight.
No, I feel that. I guess I do remember that performance against Washington week 1 and the way they were unable to move the ball. They looked like polar opposites in week 1 to week 2, if we're just being straightforward here. But are they just a team somewhere in the middle of that, right? And to your point, maybe that still is able to score more than the Chiefs are right now. It is interesting. It's interesting.
Don't get me wrong. Like, both teams are technically backs against the wall. If you're in the Giants locker room, no matter what the outside perception is, you're all professionals. You think you have a chance every single week. So their backs are technically against the wall. But in reality, there's only one team whose backs are against the wall tonight, and that's Kansas City. The Giants have no shot of playoffs, getting to a championship, Super Bowl, nothing like that. They start 0-3. Doesn't matter. Give them a high draft pick. It'll help them next year, right? The Chiefs start 0-3. I don't have the numbers, but I remember the one year, I forget who we were following along. Teams that start 0-3 statistically just don't make the playoffs. I think their odds to make the playoffs go down to like 16% or something like that when you start 0-3. So there's only one team who really needs to win tonight. We'll see how desperate they get. Is desperate a bad thing tonight?
It's interesting.
We're going to find out, man.
They get to watch
a 2-minute drill, man, and then we'll get over it. What was that? I'm sorry.
I was just going to say they get to watch Denver and the Chargers play early on. If the Chargers win that game, the pressure is turned up even further, man. If they're 3-0 and already have a win against you under their belt, it's going to get a lot tougher.
It doesn't matter if it's September 21st or whatever it is today, bro. Things are going to get tricky.
Not with the way the Chargers are playing, man. That identity that they're working with, it works. It wins.
And they're not even running the ball like Harbaugh wants to, like he did last year. So we'll see if that changes. But all right, 2-minute drill throughout the slate. We'll keep the Eagles Rams for preview following this on the pregame show. Packers Browns. Give me the Packers in this one easily. I think they kicked the ever-living dog shit out of Cleveland today.
Yeah, I do. I do like the Packers to win this one. The over is interesting, man. 41.5. Can the Packers just throw 30 on the board? Is that possible? But I'm gonna stay away from it. It's 1 p.m. slate. I'll go Packers.
It could just be such an ugly game for the Browns offensively that they just can't do anything.
Maybe they just can't score
offense today. Colts Titans. Daniel Jones, number 1 pick. Cam Ward battling it out. Give me the Colts to start 3-0, man. I think it's a perfect spot for them to continue this little run that they're on.
Yeah, I did look at this. I thought it was interesting, but I think that's just like my skepticism of the Colts from the beginning of the season kicking in a little bit. It's like, they can't go 3-0, and the Titans got to win a game somewhere. But no, I'm going to go with the Colts on the road. I think they're playing some good football right now, defensively specifically, and if they can continue that today, they should fare out well.
I agree. Maybe the best matchup of the day. Jake Browning, Carson Wentz, the backup QBs battle it out in Minnesota. I oddly like the over in this one. I think you can weirdly get like in the mid to high 20s from both teams in somewhat of a shootout today. I think you're going to have multiple short fields. I think there will be turnovers. We saw what Jake Browning did against Jacksonville last week in his 3 quarters of work or whatever. Give me Minnesota in this one. Ultimately, I think Brian Flores' defense will make enough plays against the backup QB. And watch Carson sling it a little bit today, man. And look, they obviously believe in J.J. McCarthy. They want to move Sam Darnold if not. But don't let Carson Wentz go out there and move the football up and down the field. After J.J. McCarthy and that offense have looked lethargic through 8 quarters. Don't let it happen.
This one is it's weird as hell. I picked the Bengals in this one. They got I guess the Vikings have weapons too. I guess I look at Jake Browning and I do know that he's not going to be afraid to fling that thing and give his guys. I'll tell
you who's definitely not afraid to fling that thing, brother.
To make plays. We'll have to see on Carson Wentz. I just don't know. I really don't know with this game. It's a crapshoot, man. I'm going with the Bengals on the road, but we'll see. Whatever.
Steelers, Patriots. Honestly, I love the Steelers in this spot. They're only 1.5-point favorites on the road. Give me Rodgers. Give me that defense to play better today as well.
You know where I'm going with this one. I'm sticking with my roots here. I'm going with the Patriots at home, man. We'll see. This is a big step-up spot for Pittsburgh and that defense to come out and perform. They're on the road. They're taking on Drake May. Doesn't sound intimidating, but it could be. I'm going with the Pats at home, but the Pittsburgh Steelers in reality, they should win this game.
One of these teams is going to start 2-1. Obviously, if you're the Steelers, you're more a playoff hopeful than New England was coming into this year. So you want the win more here, especially when you won the first game. Don't want to drop back-to-back. But yeah, we'll see, man. Tyrod Taylor leads the Jets into Tampa Bay. Give me the Bucs here in this one to start 3-0. I think Todd Bowles' defense forces another backup quarterback to turn the ball over today.
Yeah, I'll take the Bucs. That's all I got to say.
Another backup quarterback, bro. Raiders versus Marcus Mariota. Washington still favored by 2.5. They are the home team. I get it. The way Vegas's offense looked last week against the Chargers was no bueno. Give me Geno and Pete Carroll going into enemy territory today and come away with a win. I said it before the year. Now, obviously, I'm just kicking them when they're down. You don't have Jaden Daniels, obviously very difficult to win. But I think the Commanders are very overhyped, overrated. We'll see what that offense looks like with another backup QB today.
Yeah, no, I actually agree here, man. I know you were a little bit higher than me on Las Vegas coming into the season, but I just think when you look at Washington, right, if we're staying true to what we believe, if they're overrated with Jaden Daniels, then what are they with Marcus Mariota?
Yes, correct.
And so I am going to go with the Raiders on the road here to take the win. Yeah.
Yep. I agree, man. Falcons, Panthers. I think the Panthers have been one of the worst teams in football to start the year. Bryce Young, 4 tutties to 3 picks through 2 weeks. Give me Michael Penix and the Falcons in this one.
I do like the Falcons. It's a weird game because I think both of these teams may not be good teams, but we will see. I think Atlanta obviously has looked better, and they should take care of Carolina here. I agree.
Texans, Jacksonville, AFC South battle. Speaking of an 0-2 team that was playoff hopeful and don't want to start 0-3, I know they lost last week to Jake Browning. Give me the Jags at home in this one, dude. Like, I think that Trevor Lawrence does turn the football over. Again, he's another QB, 4 touchdowns, 3 picks through 2 weeks. Got to protect the football. And we know that D'Amico Ryan's defense looked incredibly good last week until that final drive. But again, another offense that I don't know how they consistently move the ball up and down the field on the road today. Give me the Jags defense in this one.
I do feel that, man. It's an interesting matchup. I did go with the Texans in this one. Just thinking if these teams are, once again, we're thinking about narratives and records, but maybe it doesn't matter, man. Maybe the Jags can just move the ball on them. I don't disagree with your points. I think it could be one of two things. If Houston wins, it's going to be their defense stepping up, turning Trevor Lawrence over multiple times today. Maybe they score a little bit over 20 points and hold the Jags under 20 points. I think that's how Houston has to win. To your point, if the Jags get up over 20 points, 25 plus points, it's going to be hard to see Houston win in that football game. So it's interesting nonetheless.
Yeah, I agree, bro. Give me the Seahawks. I don't even really have to say anything.
Yeah, I'll take the
Seahawks in Seattle. Give me Sam Darnold. Cardinals Niners, a game I know that you're keeping an eye on in 4 o'clock slate. 2-0. Mac Jones at home looked really good in Shanahan's offense last week. Can Kyler go into San Fran and come away with the win?
It is such a huge prove-it spot for the Cardinals, excuse me. Kyler Murray, man, you're going in there. Mac Jones did look good against New Orleans. You're going against Arizona, and that's what does give me confidence in this pick today is I do think Arizona's defense is for real. And so I do think they'll be able to restrict Mac Jones and that San Fran offense today. The little bit of drawback is it's in San Fran, but if you're the Cardinals, man, if you're going to compete in this division, you need to beat San Fran with their backup quarterback and take control. So it's a huge prove-it spot. If they don't take care of business in this game, man, it's going to be hard for me to reinstill faith into the Cardinals. So I'll go Arizona on the road in this one, man.
Give me San Fran. Weirdly enough, I do think it's an ugly game. Like I don't think it's going to be a pretty one. I could see 20-19. However you get the 19, maybe they go for 2 at some, I don't know, but give me 20-19 in this one. San Fran sneaks away with a win. Look, one of these teams is going to start out 3-0. So it's a very important game for both of them. So we'll see which way it leans, man. Guys, that is going to do it for this week 3 kickoff show for Turf Talk. Make sure to follow us on Twitter, subscribe to the YouTube, share it, like it, whatever you got to do to continue to help us grow. We greatly, greatly appreciate it. Do we want to do pregame right now?
We can go back to back.
Head on over to the DSM Philly YouTube channel. In about 5 minutes, we'll be kicking off the Eagles-Rams pregame show live over there, getting into keys to victory, predictions, bets, all that fun stuff. So peace out, everybody. Come hang out with us on the other YouTube.
See you there. Let's go. Week 3.